And this build will be on YouTube, and it will be on Alcast's site as well, with some more details there. Alright, so this is the new Stam Sorc build we've got for Murkmire. So I've made this one pretty much because I still wanted to move fast, but what I hate about Murkmire is everyone's move speed's very slow. Okay, higher end gameplay, you're seeing a lot of Ice Wardens, even just people back barn Wall of Elements and Ice Staffs, and just everything's really slow. So between the hits to Swift trait on Jewelry and immunity to root skills being nerfed, such as Forward Momentum, which is still a good skill, but it's only 4 seconds, we move towards something else, especially with the bow changes. Now, Draining Shot, right now, in Murkmire, its CC locks you up a little too long. But there's a few CCs like this. The Fighters Guild one, the Chain one, I feel the same kind of delay there as well. Kind of like with Time Stop has a delayed break. So even though they reworked CCs, apparently in Murkmire, they did not rework CCs because they're still a little broken. So just an FYI. Now, even when Draining Shot is fixed and it's easier to break, this build will still actually be effective because it does not bank on the fact that the person gets stunned long. You could make a build, for example, where you kill the guy very fast after Draining Shot. Super bursty ones like a Warden or Nightblade could do that pretty easily. That's not entirely the goal here. It's very strong in the sense that they actually extended the range. Dual wield bow has always been good on Stam Sorc. I've run it a little bit. I've never made a build for it or posted one. It's always been fast. As long as you can afford to, because you can get your expedition out of the bow here. See the green behind me and the streaks? Okay, that's me, that's the roll dodge. We're getting that major expedition there, alright? So let's go through the gear real quick, and everything that matters. By the way, this build is for non-CP, okay? This is one of those builds that's for Battlegrounds and non-CP open world, which is primarily what I do. Not doing much CP builds. But this one really scales and is built for non-CP. It really is. Everything from the sets to enchants to everything about it. So, going through it, and I was going to change around some of the enchantments on the armor, but it turns out I was kind of happy where they're at. It is a medium armor build, so I'm in 5, maybe 6 medium? I'm in 6 medium with 1 heavy. I have a heavy hat. So I have a 2-piece Valken. And again, if you really want to see like the exact enchantments I have and the exact stats, that you can see in more detail on Alcast's site if you're not picking it up here. Because I do go through and I actually put the details on his site, which will be below the YouTube video as well. Get out of here. Alright. Because right now you're seeing this in a... Here, let me go into the non-CP campaign, and you can see the stats more clearly while we go through it, which makes sense. Because you want to have, like, you're not going to have a lot of high stam on this. You get that constantly. People are like, your stam's low, as if stam is the only thing that determines your damage, and it really isn't at all, especially in non-CP. There's a lot of things that factor in. Ultimately, this really pushes sustain, okay? That is a big key with this. I started out making a build with high sustain, and it turned out it was good on killing people without even really needing to slip much damage into it. Now, Valken I added for damage. Alright, we're passing up something like Troll King here, which is very big, but it's worth it. It also gives us extra health, Valken. But it procs a lot because this build has a couple dots firing in it. Alright, so 2-piece Valken, a heavy and a medium. The rest is going to be medium here. I have Red Mountain in here, which has great stats. Weapon damage, max stam, crit. Chance to proc the fire whenever we use a weapon ability. And we're going to be flooding weapon abilities a lot. The other set I have is Trappings. So basically, you're going, and Trappings is a back bar set. So it's on the back bar with a bow. Now this set, if you can't get it from the dungeon, you have to farm this one from I think it's Dragon Bones, Scale Caller, I think it's from that dungeon. If you don't get that, you can put other things in here that proc on the back bar and be effective as well. I get targeted a lot in PvP for who I am. People see me, they target me. I prefer the extra sustain because of that. It helps keep me alive. And I can still close the kills. But you could put something else back here. I don't want to recommend Slodes, but boy, it'd work fine in here. Something like Briarheart, right? Something that procs a decent amount of time on the back bar. Again, I went sustain. Stats on this are very good, and for non-CP, Stam sustain, it's very strong, invigorating. Stam recovery, max Stam, Stam recovery. And when we're under 33%, this is basically the Stam Warlock set, okay? It's the Warlock equal on the Stam side. Because there's a Magicka set called Warlock, does the same thing. So this restores 9k Stam. So this really helps you in those crunch moments, and I will show you in a gameplay video about that. Again, I'll post the enchantments on these armor. That's kind of mix and match from other builds I've done. So you'll see there's like, this thing has a tri-enchant on it, because I've used this in other builds. Some is max Stam, some is max health. I'll give you the stats and everything. That I would go to Alcast site for, okay? Or you can see it here in the video as I scroll through it, because I have different ones on different parts. But it kind of works where my health and my Stam is at. I like it. Only 22.4. You really have to be fast-paced with this build, but it is very fast-paced. Like, it is so fun. It's very fast-paced. You can maneuver around fights constantly. You can literally hover the edges, kind of like that's how I built Stam Sorc originally when I made it. You kind of can pivot around the fight and pick your fight and knock people out, get in and out. This does that very well. On the jewelry, I have infused reduced Stam cost on all three. So what this does with medium is really lowers the cost of my skills a lot. Rending's at 833 cost, right? Tornado 1900. Like the cost of my skills is really low from Stam. So where's the damage come from? Valken and Red Mountain paired up with dots. We have these poisons on the back bar. We have Master Dual Wield up front. We have an infused on both, weapon damage on one, and then the Restore Stam physical pen on the other. Okay. That is pretty much the gear in a nutshell there. For the Mundus, I'm using the Steed. So this is move speed and health recovery. So this is good for keeping us alive and surviving. The food we use is the Artaeum. Again, max health, max Stam, and then more Stam recovery and more health recovery. So this all goes very well with Orc, because Orc gets a passive to move speed and sprint speed, and its cost. Same with medium. That paired up with Steed, plus the health recovery from both of these, gets built up by the Orc passive as well. So this all works very well together. All points in the Stam here. Okay. So that's pretty much the equipment in a nutshell. Oh yeah, people always want to know the motif. They say you're looking damn good. Here's the motif. All right, here's your colors. General's gold, and the black and the white. All right, this is a crown store chest and girdle. Telvanni boots, Malakath greaves, Yokuden gauntlets, and the silken ring pauldrons. All right, the Skyforged Smith Hammer's not easy to get. All right, that's a crafting achievement. Molag Kina sword and a Kina bow. The melee actually looks nice. It kind of matches that Stam Sorc theme. Once you buff up crit surge, there's lightning everywhere. All right. As far as skills, let's go through them real quick. And pots we use. The pots that I've come to really like on this are the immovable health Stam pots. All right, they give me the ability to have a burst heal, while still giving me the regen too, and for Stam as well. These are awesome. You can also use tripods, but I found these to pay off more for the most part. Right here, we have Rending Slashes, Move Speed, Reduction Morph here. We have Streak, Steel Tornado, Crit Surge, Crushing Weapon. This is from the Siddik skill line. We also have Siddik skill on both bars. So we get to use this shield with as low health as you have when you're disengaging and there's a lot of range hitting you. You can, you know, block and streak out of a fight, then like roll dodge. You'll get behind something and start healing up. People start chasing you. You come back around the corner firing at them. Alright, you'll see that play style in this. And if you really want to learn how this works, I'd recommend watching some of the gameplay on this build. Crushing Weapon you can also put up at the front end of your combo. It lasts for 2 seconds and it will refund if you don't use it. But for example, I'm coming in on a target, Crushing Weapon, I'm going to come in and hit him with a bow, and it's going to proc the Crushing Weapon on the front end. As well as, I'll show you pretty much your engagement style. It takes a little getting used to, but it makes a lot of sense when you see it unfold. Ideally, you have a target you're coming in on, light attack, and then poison inject. Then another, so that's your first move. What you're going to follow it up with is a light attack, and then the stun, draining shot, right? And then you're closing the distance to come in, either do like a heavy rending, or maybe a light rending. If he was pretty close and he was right here and you hit him, you can just do a light rending. But a big part of that combo is you do light and poison inject, roll dodge, and then do light and draining shot. And what that does, this is at a targeted range. So light, poison inject, come in, light, stun, and now I have the move speed buff. Because in between the first set of skills, I did a roll dodge to get that little boost to close in and get in on the target. Because you don't have a gap closer, so use your move speed wisely. Steel Tornado obviously is going to be our closer. For people that are not dying quickly, I'm weaving Crushing Weapon at times. Unless they're very low health, then I'll Steel Tornado weave them. But I do that with Bash. So this is a light attack, Crushing Weapon, Bash. And I can show some of that. I should get a mob. I usually show my combos on some mobs. So let me find you a mob real quick to do that. Just demonstrate what I just talked about doing right there. Damage over time is dot. Yes, confirmed. Does Bash activate Crushing Weapon? It does not. It's only activated by light attacks. So if you pop Crushing Weapon and do a heavy attack, it will not use Crushing Weapon. It will refund at that point. So it's a cost-effective skill to toss in. But anyway, the opening combo again is going to be a light poison, and then you'll see me roll dodge right after. See? I did both of them. I did light and poison right there, followed up with a light and stun, and then I'm gonna get, you know, get busy on it there. As far as the melee weave goes, say I've already hit the target, right, and I'm on him, and he's high health, then what I would do is light, and I've already applied. You want to apply your dots because your dots is what keeps the sets procking and rolling here. This thing's just already died. It doesn't even matter. Hang on, let me find something with. So this is light, Crushing Weapon, and Bash weave. You can see how effective it can be here. It looks weird, but that's what's happening. It's light attack, Crushing Weapon, Bash, and it's expensive because Stam gets spent when you're bashing. But with all this going, it allows you to put out really high pressure, and you're gonna get your Stam back because you have a lot of regen here. You come in, I put my dots, and I can light, you know, weave and stuff. So the way you're gonna get back, you know, you're gonna dark deal in between. You don't have to heavy attack as much because you really have a lot of Stam flowing. You can disengage from fights and find time and targets to take out. And you'll see people that don't keep their defenses up will die very fast against this. Alright. Again, I would recommend watching some gameplay of it if you really want to see what it's capable of. I will show one fight. I'm just picking something out. I don't know how it is. We'll see. But I can at least talk about, you know, what's going on with a little more detail. So let's roll through that real quick. All right. Double FENGRUSH action. I'm going to keep me muted, but I will talk. Double Feng time, that's right. So this looks like a normal battleground match too. And again, a lot of battlegrounds I face at higher MMR. I see a lot of Ice Wardens. I don't know if we'll have one in here. I'm usually short-handed. This is a great build where you don't have to rely on your team entirely to just be able to go in and play and have fun. So I'm opening up with stuns there. Anytime someone is not stunned, you want to stun them too. So, like, right at the start of the fight there, I didn't intend to kill either of those first two. Because once you commit early in the fight, the other team flanks you and kills you. What I did want to do is hit them with stuns and get their stam to not be full. I want to put their CC on cooldown. I want to start burning their stam. You have to work people's resources down. And if you get in a resource battle with people with a build like this, you're going to win every time. So it's good to keep their CCs wasted and burn it.
Son of a bitch.
So here you go, Frost Warden team. They're coming in, permafrost, unkillable. You know, and we only have 3 people, none of which are a healer. So I'm just kind of hanging back in this fight. I'm living right now. I'm not on offense. But I'm looking for opportunities. Here's an opportunity. Like, this guy was doing the same thing, trying to get away from the fight. And we took him out pretty easily. We just applied dots. A lot of work was done to him in the fight. I hit him with Rending and Poison Injection, our 2 dots we want to keep running on targets. You want to keep both running. Rending's the more deadly. Poison Injection kicks in under 50%. It becomes very fierce at that point. Okay.
Hello, cutie pie.
He just plays. Thank you for gifting in Yummy Burrito.
One of us is in deep
Welcome in,
trouble.
Yummy. So here we go. There's a streak there. Usually, sometimes I do this in slow. We can do it a little in slow-mo. I'll slow it down a little bit because this moves really fast. There's a lot happening. So Vigor, like, oh man, just I fly through these combos, but you'll see there was a crushing weapon weave, but the guy died anyway because he was low. I just Dawn broke him for the kill. There's me doing a stun, another stun. I'm picking those guys off. And the thing about Draining Shot is it shoots back a heal. So it's a really good thing to push targets off you, use your move speed, and Dark Deal while they're sitting there CC breaking. They're wasting stam, and you are in control more so with the resource game. All right, and this is where you can really have the ability to find targets and overextend like this, because that's what I just did there. I got the first guy. I didn't get the second one. I got stuck in the time stop, and I did die there. So that happens. You know, no one's unbeatable, right? People die. He's streaming right with the other guy. Yeah, this guy's playing, though. All right, I'm just commentating. So here we go. There's a DK. You want to be careful. Their wings, they can reflect back your bow shots. If I don't see wings, I start firing until they put them up. And if a DK doesn't put up wings, he's an easy target. That guy was an easy target. All right, no wings, no chance. All right, real quick, we open in with the dots every time you see. Right here in this video, I'm using tripods. If I was using immovables, I've only used the build for like a week, and it's just unbelievable. Every time. Adding immovables has helped. It's allowed me to choose times to go into a fight that's very nasty, like this one, where I'm bound to get CC when I go in. Well, I can just immovable and go in and get a kill, and then, you know, maybe be good to keep fighting the next one. So right there, Poison Injection coming in, Rending. There's the combo. There's the Siddik weave right now that looks weird. And then I did a Tornado once he was under 50%. All right, same thing. Immediately applying dots to this guy. You see all the little numbers ticking. It's a lot of damage adding up. And the moment they get CC'd like that and they let their guard down, you can weave in the execute kills. Most people are not going to have sustain like this in Battleground. Pretty much nobody is going to have sustain like this. Though more people may build it after seeing this. It really gives you the ability to play more the game you want to play, rather than I'm blocking the health bar over here. Rather than just What happens a lot right now with snares and roots being nerfed is you just get rooted and snared and die, especially if you're outnumbered. I mean, one-on-one, it's like, okay, I'll fight your snares and roots. But, like, if I'm against two people and I'm constantly rooted and snared and slowed and I can't maneuver, you know, you just die eventually. It's kind of dumb. Unless they're just outright incompetent or just didn't bring a good build, right? So right there, stun combo, brought in the rending. There's a Red Mountain and a Valken proccing right up front. Just going to DB him. I want to get this kill out, and I died because I was trying to kill him and get out because I saw that Sorc. He's wrapping me up. All right, here he comes. He's doing a teabag. That's... There you go. Make sure you teabag if you're trying to prove something to somebody. It's always good. So here we go. Poison injection right at the front end. Rending. Sometimes you don't want to stun right at the start either. Sometimes you dig in on the target, but usually I do stun up front, and if I need, I'll let the dots tick for about 5 to 6 seconds, reapply them, then stun after they've been reapplied, and really push the burst in after. You see at the top right all the numbers adding up. Light attack, steel tornado, bash, poison inject, poison, rending slashes, Valken scoria, implosion, light attack, absorb stamina. Like that guy just got bombarded while he was trying to just recover his stats, is what he was trying to do. So here we come. We came in this fight, drop a DB. Our team got 2 kills there. We can get in and get out. Now, if someone chases us like this, we want to drag them away from their teammates, kite them out, make them sprint, make them use stamina, because we can always beat them on stamina. That's kind of the idea here. Keep the dots rolling on him, keep moving, and keep CCing him. And again, a DK that's not putting up wings is a dead DK. All right, if they don't have many tools outside of it, especially like when I face them with this. If they keep their wings up, you know, they're pretty annoying actually for me to fight with this. But a lot of them can't afford to always keep their wings up or just don't do it. Here's Yippee. Yippie's a professional Warden player on C9. All right. But no one's unbeatable. All right, Yippie's Earthcore's proc, but it's probably too late. There's a lot of damage. You're getting 3v1'd in the corner. Wishmas, thank you for the prime. Welcome in. I'm a dead DK even when I do put up wings. All right. Well, sometimes you can die. All right, this Sorc has a hard on, as you see, every time they're out. But, you know, Sorcs you can take down with this. You got to watch that burst, though. You know, a light armor pen, you know, their combo can really, between Endless Fury and whatever, I mean, a curse and frag will do a good chunk of your health. So you got to be careful with Sorcs. Always, no matter what you're fighting in light armor. Unless you're a Warden or a DK with shield or wings. Yeah, so be careful the magic of Sorcs. They're still rocking and rolling this patch. They're still very good. It's Ice Wardens that are really kind of overtuned, I think, for team play. So here we go. You get a lot of foliage going on here. Dropping a DB, trying to clear these guys off my teammate. I wasn't really looking for a kill there, but I'm trying to put some pressure back on them while I get resources. Dark deal here. Do a combo. I have a pot, but I like to save my pot a bit more. Once I get engaged, like right now I should pot. There's the pot right there. And that gave me a heal burst. Allows me to try to drag these guys out. Now, people that aren't as experienced are more capable of overextending on you. I ran up there, and that guy was ready to go with a take flight, so rip. Oh, actually, no, he was one of the ones chasing me. But you can kite out a lot of people and then turn the fight around on them with this. A lot of the open world I did on this was wildly successful and pretty impressive. Maybe I'll probably put up a clip or two of that, not in this video, but separately, of this in open world. It's very strong in open world because it has the ability to just keep going and travel pretty good distances that most people are used to killing you before then. So then they end up overextending, and they get themselves in trouble that way. I don't know how much. How long is this one? This one's okay, but it's not great. I didn't have time to pick one out. Might hop to another BG. This is kind of the first day I was using it too. Let's see what see what else we get going here. A lot of these guys aren't chasing too much though here either, is another thing. This team's got Yippee, who's pretty good healing. There's a lot of times if you have a team that's sticking together and you don't really have a team, because this match is a tough example because I'm not fighting with my team ever. It's not that I'm not trying to. We're a 3-man team. And if we go 3v4 against Ice Warden Healer, you lose every time. But just fighting 3v4 is pretty tough already. If you're going like head-to-head with no line of sight or whatever. But you see what I'm doing? I'm chasing people on the edges. You can kill anybody with this. And anybody you really have to, get involved with, running around on the side one-on-one, you can deal with. But I'm not running out there because it's very, like, there's a Magicka Sorc and something else. And you can get bursted and killed that quick. So you kind of wait for it, let the fight pan out, and try to pick at people on the back. That's what I'm doing. Yippie's a terrible target, that's why I didn't go for him. He's a healer, very tanky. But you look for opportunities. I mean, they're not going to get kills until they get engaged in something else. And once they are engaged, like with the other team right here, then you can fight solo. This is a good way to fight if you're outnumbered. You kind of have to in Battleground. So there we go. We did a DB, got that guy. These two were fighting. Here's another guy. You see all the dots add up on him, and I mean, we got two kills for nothing there. So this is just me kind of playing smart in this match. There you go. There was the whole combo that I told you about earlier. And I mean, that guy just kind of got melted there. If they don't have good burst healing or recovery or strong defense to react, they're going to be in trouble. There's the Siddik Unwind. I didn't mention earlier, I use the Siddik skill a lot with this. Unless I have people to Dawnbreak with, I almost never Dawnbreak. I'm Dawnbreaking less and less as I play this. And I'm using the Siddik skill to just further bait people. Like, they use their ult. They use a little more. I unwind. I'm at full health with my resources back. Then I pot. And it's like, yeah, both our ults are down, but I have more resources at that point. But see, once you get caught up, you get slowed. Because this thing, it doesn't have shuffle. I didn't say it earlier. I didn't like using shuffle. I tried using shuffle. I think it's a terrible skill. All right? I think if the people making the game and bouncing it tried using shuffle on all their builds, it would be changed immediately. Because the skill sucks. It costs a lot of stam, and it doesn't do much for you. It sucks. For removing snares and everything, it's kind of embarrassment. So we'll see what they do in the future with move speed. I'm thinking they're going to change it. I'm hoping. That's the only thing I'm really pushing for big time right now for the next patch. So hopefully this build will still be good then, though. It will still hold up because it doesn't rely or depend upon any of that. It actually has. I actually get better mobility not using shuffle than trying to use shuffle. I'd actually burn my stam out faster using shuffle. So its cost for what it gives is just ridiculous. So that's why it's not in the build, FYI. And rather this relies on a dot and pressure type setup with. Because with all those dots and all those things hitting too, you get a lot of kills with Implosion. A lot of people's health gets edged down, and you just wind those combos on them with dots running, and eventually they explode with Implosion. That happens a lot too.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, it's not a bad game either. I mean, we won that game with just 3 people. It's actually pretty impressive. Oh, this is a capture the relic. We'll look at a little bit more of one, and if anyone has questions, I could answer them. There's a standard permafrost gameplay right there. Oh, this is open world. Open world could be good to look at for a minute, maybe. There's a Siddik Undo. I know there was some bridge fighting that was pretty good that I had the other night. Maybe we could poke at that just for a minute, just to see the combos. I want people to see like the average player. A lot of those guys I fought in Battlegrounds are a lot of good players in there too, right? But in open world, man, a lot of people that are not doing like Battlegrounds, like you have to understand, if you're seeing gameplay from me at Battlegrounds, it is the highest MMR. There's like 50 people tops I see in those matches. It's the same people, all trying, doing really meta stuff too. When you actually put this against the general public out there, it's pretty strong. Wow, this looks like a bad situation. There's a Siddik Undo. See how I ran, and looks like I'm trying to run from about 20 people right now. But again, we have the ability to maneuver kind of any way we want with this, which again, so if these guys want to try to chase me, unless they're on mounts, they're really gonna start hurting on Stam eventually. So again, more that classic Stam Sorc gameplay, being able to have the mobility to get away. Like we just separated from these guys. I want them to keep chasing, but they gotta speed up a bit. I'm trying to cover that guy right now. That's why I'm just spamming CCs right now. Just trying to help him, but I don't think he's getting away. So the Magic of Sorc has the courage to fight, or maybe a little kind of. See, the dots are running. Even with shields rotating, he was losing health gradually over that fight because all the dots were coming. You keep them up, you keep everything rolling. Like the average healing setup will not sustain that. It just won't happen. Let's see what else is going on here. So another just standard open world engagement, real quick. Hitting him with the dots, stunning him later in the combo. The later in the combo you can actually use the draining, the more you have a potential to burst them before they could heal. So there's the Siddik Rewind again. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I streaked onto a pole, but that Siddik Rewind can have some real potential. Here's a little open field battle. This is the time to hit questions if you have any. Shoot. You can use Werewolf on this build and rely mainly on the Siddik ult. I don't think Werewolf procs Red Mountain. I'm gonna have to look. I don't know what procs. I don't think it procs Red Mountain. But you could put something else in there. You could do something similar for it. Yeah, you could. Must be tough to have such a small pool of players for your Battlegrounds. It is. It's got frustrating with the slow meta too, because it's been the most about numbers than it's ever been. So here we are. We're just open field. See the combo, poison injection, the stun coming in, hitting him with the dots. He's in recovery mode. Here comes a Nightblade to save him because he's got Troll King ticking. So you see he heals up pretty good there. He Dawn broke, but we stunned him again immediately. What I'm doing at this point is I want to kill the Nightblade. Anytime you see some shit like this going on, I'm pretend fighting with the other guy while I wait for the fucking Nightblade, and I will save everything and hammer the DB on that Nightblade and get him out, because they're never good. Any Nightblade that does that kind of shit's never fucking good. They're easy to take down. You just got to catch them. They will know how to defend themselves once you put a little pressure. So it's like starting the fight over with this guy again because of Troll King. And be mindful of that. When you have someone with Troll King, what you want to do is front load your dots and stun him as he's approaching half. Then hit him with the pressure, then execute. you know, you can take the fight any direction you want with this. So here comes some dudes engaging us. At this point, open world, this is where the Siddik ult's really going to pay off. You have to expect, at least I do, I expect I'm always going to be sniped at this point. That at any moment a Nightblade's going to, there's a Nightblade trying to snipe me. See him over there? And with that in mind, you want to Dawnbreak very wisely. Because once you do not have that rewind anymore. And see how badly I could use that rewind right now? Look at these resources. Now, there's Trappings of Invigoration. It just popped right there. It gave me another 9k stam to work with to be able to try to peel out here. I shot him with the bow thing. The heal should come back in a second. It didn't, because sometimes shit doesn't work. There's a heal from it. You'll see it. It shoots the enemy and it comes back. It's like these two little things. But we were able to get away right there with nothing left. Turn it around, kill a guy, and be ready to keep going. Okay? That's that level of survival you can get out of something like Trappings, where you don't need something else because you have enough damage in non-CP. All right, this isn't CP, so it's different. This becomes more battle of resources, where CP is just a battle of what sets did you put on and how high is your weapon damage type stuff. Not crazy about it. So here we go. Dragging them out, getting Dark Deal rolling, maneuvering them. When you have the move speed advantage, look for people on the edges. This guy is alone, so let's just get him out of here. He's coming in with Permafrost up. Permafrost champion. There's Earthgore proccing, so I'm gonna dip backwards a bit. I think I remember this. I think I run out. They eventually get me here because I just decide to fight. But what you'll, if this is the right one I'm thinking of, you'll see these guys can't really catch me if I don't want to be caught. You see, I'm stopping right now. I'm like, are you guys still coming? Are you guys there? Turns out they were just sneaking in on me. They were trying to like surround me, and because it's very hard to catch this. If someone's chasing on a mount, you can just turn around and pepper them with arrows. Just let them rain down. Get them off their mount. Stun people that are chasing you. The bow gives you a lot of command over, you know, how you want to move and where. I'll probably have to wait for these guys to come again. Yeah, I tried to make a little stand at the tower, I think, because I thought that would be fun. I'd rather go out swinging on something. So here we go. We get CC. That's, again, where that movable pot would be useful. But we'll wait here. You're not going to see much. There's a poison inject and a bow shot. I hit him with rending. Here's a Dawnbreak. It was invisible. All right. We killed him. We streaked through. See, this guy's not going to have wings. Bow shot at him in the back. Draining shot heal did come in, but at this point, I'm trying to get that line of sight. Small slows are doing their job right now. And this is, again, where Siddik's almost up, too. Because if I had something like Siddik, I could relocate and keep drawing that fight out. So the Siddik ult is very useful here, because the build doesn't need the ult to close the kill. Which sets besides Trappings are you using? Monster one-handers? The Master Dual Wield is an axe and a dagger. The axes are good for the bleed there, though. If you can get two of them, do it. All right. Do you have any other questions? The Browns won. This is a legendary day. Never happened before, T. If I went two-handed in Black Rose Bow, what sets would you run? I don't know. I would build it different at that point. I'm relying on Dual Wield and its dots, and I'm relying on Poison Injection and its dots. And pairing them up is the reason I've made a choice for Valken and Red Mountain. So I've thought of different great builds that I could try out. I tried this one. This is what this one is. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do other suggestions right now for other ones. Does anyone know if heals are affected by max? Magic only spelled that. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna only hit questions that are really relevant to this build right now. What's up, Bo? How you doing? Just doing a little build video. Is this a powerful 1v1 build? In non-CP, yeah. Yeah, it is. Would you use this to duel? I wouldn't say it's built to duel, because there's some other things you could do in dueling, but you could beat a majority of your opponents dueling with this and have it more effective than the average thing. But dueling builds, there's certain checks that you can mark off, like major to file, right? If I can add major to file to the build, I'd just fucking do that, right? And just wear them down with pressure, stuff like that. Our heal... okay. All sets that could work similar until... So, Red Mountain's easy to get in this build. Valken's not hard to get either. And then Master Dual Wield, let's say you can't get Master Dual Wield, but you can get those other two. And you can't get Trappings, because maybe you don't have the DLC. Put something else in there that procs, whether it be Briarheart. I'm not going to say the SLOAD set, okay? It would work perfectly in there, okay? You could do that, because it functions the same way that set should function, right? Plague Slinger is another dungeon set that would be good. There's different ones in there, something backbarred. And if not backbarred, and you don't have master weapons, then what you could do is do front and back bar. But you would need weapons to match, which means your bow and your dual wield would have to be the same weapon, right? Or same set, rather. You could do something in there and have something passive, like the Acrobat set. The Acrobat set's very good. Say you can't get Trappings, but you want to get some cost efficiency, the Acrobat set's very nice. It's a new one. There's different options that you can put in there. The Trapping set is the one that you want to alternate if you need to alternate a set in this build. If you keep all the skills in place, you want to keep Red Mountain and Valken, because they pair up with the dual-wield bow combo. Okay? It's built around that. Missed the beginning, but now it's runnable without masters. You could. Yeah, you can. I know not everybody can get it. I'm showing, like, my build, but yes. Like, where you could move things is there. It starts to lose its touch if it's like, well, now I don't have Trappings, and I don't have Red Mountain, and I don't have Valken. It's like, okay, some of your damage is going to start escaping you at that point, right? So, but the skills and how they unfold, hopefully that makes sense to you. If you have any questions, you can ask the build vid. But yeah, I think that's about it. Any other questions? Will Bone Pirate work? It would have to be passive on both bars again. Red Mountain should be passive on both bars. So if you're not doing master weapons, then yes, you could technically do that, or Shackle Breaker on both. You could technically do something like that. I wasn't sure since you said those bleeds are crazy. Well, the master weapons bleeds are good, but for example, say you run Bone Pirate on both bars, right? Then you could have dual-wield Bone Pirate axes and still bleed them out. You don't even have to have axes. It's up to you how much you want to push and farm and get what is in this build. The average player can do half this build and be dominant. You know, I'm talking about like what I have to build in my environment. It's very, very different. When I go up against 5 or 6 inexperienced players, like the other night in open world, I could tear through like 6 AD players just immediately with this, because it doesn't cost a lot of resources, and I get them back pretty quick, right? A similar build work on a DK. This could work on a lot of classes. You may see something very similar on another class. I already have it planned what I'm going to do. I just haven't got to it yet. I wanted to get this build out into your guys' hands. Would Sench work? Yes, it could. That is one of the top sets I thought for the back bar. Rather, I went with the sustain. Sench was the one I was looking at trying, and Sench would be a great set to consider on this build. Like, look, sorry, it's still playing over here on the side on the other monitor. That was all. I love the Siddik ult. Hopefully people watching the stream like it too, all right? Well, look at this. We're in here just fighting people. Here's a sniper. Ripped up, right? Look, it's just in the middle of people. There's multiple Nightblades around me. That was just one of them. So eventually you're going to get bursted. This is where movable is nice. Boom, we got knocked down. Dawnbreakered. Hit with everything. Boom. Just rewind time. Disconnect. Get to the side. Get your resources back. Force them to overextend. They're going to be thinking, oh, I got him. He's so close to dead. And in reality, I am. But who's going to get the resources back quicker? I'm going to, once these dark deals start flowing, right? And that's where you can try to, turn around and make a play. So the Siddik skill is really nice. These guys just don't really engage too much here, probably. Or if they do, they die. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next. See how my resources are coming back? I'm pegging them. I'm stunning them. Burning their stam. It burns mine, sure, too. But you're fighting outnumbered already. You got to burn their resources or you're never going to get the kill. But I got my pot up and I got my ult up, which gives me, the ability to make a decisive action here. Turns out Nightblades again. They're everywhere. Like I said, get your dots on them, then CC them, and put them out. Except I got sniped by a different Nightblade. I remember this. This is a terrible experience. This thing keeps pulling me. This stupid plant keeps pulling me. This dumb plant. This thing shouldn't even be in Cyrodiil. I feel like I'm doing Maelstrom while I'm out here trying to PvP this guy. Every time I engaged him, this plant would pull me and bug my character out. Get it together, Cyrodiil. Alright? Why is there a Strangler out here doing this shit? Get real. What's the current CP cap? A10. Started running the Siddik ult last night, loving it. Yeah, it's good. And it gets you that minor protection. It gives you that shield. And that shield pays off on medium armor. It really does. Alright, open up. Plant a stun on him. Plant some dots. Try to get pulled by the Strangler, but I'm already CC'd. Boom, he's dead. The dots are rolling. This stupid plant is... Streak, always effective to find your Nightblade, stun them, and give you a chance to put Rending on them. Put Rending on that Nightblade. If you see them and you can, streak them, Rending, and they will spam stealth, but at least they already start bleeding at that point. And now, we could Dawnbreak, but again, I don't try to Dawnbreak, as, I try to save it a lot. Okay? Does that make sense? Any other questions? You said other classes. I've had a Templar since launch. Can I build on him? You could build this on any class, technically. You'd have to make adjustments here and there. I probably will do similar playstyles on other classes. I can only do so many builds at once, though. What is the add-on for the trapping? Is a great question. The add-on for the trappings of invigoration icon there, it's called cooldowns, made by Garrett, one of the dudes in the stream here who helps custom make some add-ons. It gives you the cooldown on that trapping set, so you know when it's coming up and you know when you have it and when you don't. Okay. Any other excellent questions? I used your skills and made my Stam Sorc with Spriggans and Shieldbreaker. It's a mean setup. A lot of damage. Do you ever play PvE or are you just done with it? I play PvE a lot. The next build I will make, and it'll probably be tomorrow, is the Werewolf one. Okay? The Werewolf is my PvE 4-man dungeon build. I also use it in Trials. I also took it in the Battlegrounds, and we would go like 30-0. So we're going to do the Werewolf one too. Even though it's primarily a PvE build, it's an all-purpose, amazing, high weapon damage Werewolf build. Over 10k weapon damage. Wow, wow, wow. All right. And that's not even trying to get high weapon damage. Because one of the sets doesn't even give weapon damage. It just gives us 50% more attack speed, which makes 10k weapon damage all the more juicier. Okay? So we'll do that one later. Well, I have to watch this video to understand the gameplay. Yes, Joe. Yeah, you're probably never going to learn it, Joe. It's not happening. All right? This is what you can do. You can be the champion Stam Sorc. That's always been happening. Moving all over the battlefield, being able to take kills at any point, having more mobility than pretty much anybody. We've done it again. All right. So, that's this build. 2.2 mil damage last time I saw the Werewolf in BG. Yeah, I put up like a 3 million on it once, or close to it, like 2.8 or something. But yeah, the Werewolf one will be fun. I'll probably do that. I think I'll try to do that build tomorrow. But that's the end of the video. Let me